Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fish Vlog number 184, and before I get into what's been going on in the fish room this week, I want to get to something that's long overdue. I'm sorry, Don, I didn't get to this sooner. I had originally intended on breeding the white clouds and then doing a comparison between feeding them this as an initial food and then comparing that to paramecia, that sort of thing, the other live foods that I raise, and then moving on to baby brine shrimp. But unfortunately, to date, I have not had time to breed them, and all the fish that are breeding currently in my fish room can go straight on to much larger foods. No excuse, I know, but like I said, I wanted to actually see, well, there will be results coming because I want to show that. But most importantly, and like I said, I was getting way behind in doing this, I want to thank you very much. You very generously sent this to me. It's not available to me up here, and you didn't have to do this, and I very, very, very much appreciate this. And everybody, please go over to Don's channel. I'll leave a link to his latest breeding videos, and I mean, he breeds an awful lot of fish. It's well worth looking into. And definitely thank him, and again, Don, thank you very much for this. I will get to actually doing some actual comparisons with this in the future. Unfortunately, I said I was very busy at the moment. So let's get on to the video and see what's going on in the fish room. Most of which involves getting my fish room back in order. There's a bunch of old experiments I've been running, some things I set up that I really liked, like this terrarium initially. I mean, it worked really well, and it grew, as you can see, a lot of plants. But unfortunately, it is overgrown now, as you can see also in the back behind my head. There's a bunch of other plants that I will be getting to as well. I mean, they just take over, and if you don't have enough time to continually prune everything and keep everything, well, under control, they all get overgrown. The fish don't do as well, and I kind of need the space. I want to breed more fish. And mostly because I still need them for clients, and well, fish are expensive, and to make that all viable, it's better if I raise them myself. Of course, I also enjoy doing so. So I'm going to cut this back. The initial prune I did on it did no harm whatsoever, and it's now been 4 or 5 days since I have done this, and there weren't any issues at all. So it is a very resilient plant. So I'm going to pull all this apart. I'm going to take down all that, the driftwood that's in the back, all the rock work. I'm going to pull out the underground filter system that's in there. I'm going to leave the sponge filter in, of course, because they do need some filtering. I'm going to take most of the Achilles that are in here, there's a couple dozen. I'm going to put most of them down in another aquarium. I'm going to leave a few in here for now, but later on I want to move them to another aquarium so I can continue breeding them. They don't breed very well when it's this overgrown. So anyway, like I said, I want to get all that under control, and then what I want to do with this aquarium is I want to set this up for, believe it or not, just raising guppies, but not just throwing a bunch of guppies in there and letting them do their thing. What I want to do instead is I'm going to set up a number of fish breeding setups with trios or whatever, and when they have fry, instead of just leaving them to their own devices, which is what I normally do, I let a certain amount of selection happen by the ones that survive are obviously going to be tougher, that sort of thing. So instead of just doing that, what I want to do is throw all the fry here, and then gradually cull them out. And as this tank gets filled up, I will set up another aquarium and rinse and repeat, and that way I'll end up with a lot more guppies, which I do need. I have a lot of aquariums that could use a few more, and it would be nice to have extra fish that way. I'm not going to just breed guppies. I do have some color forms that I really want, but I plan on breeding a lot of other fish as well. This is an OB female zebra. I pulled her out because I'm doing also an awful lot of work on the 7-foot tanks. She has a huge mouthful and is well overdue to let them go, and hopefully she'll do that in a couple of days. So she'll do that, and this is the tank that I want to put the Achilles in, because you can see it's got a fair amount of tannins. I do have a video coming up regarding, well, there's a lot of people who want to do natural setups currently, and I find this sort of style a little bit more conducive to pulling things out and rearranging things than having to do the whole tank if something changes. So this is another aquarium. This, if you remember, I had a female Hatborlei with fry. She's let a few of them out now. She's going to show up here in a few seconds. She still has more in her mouth. She got a little skittish when I pulled her out of the 7-foot tank and put her in this little thing. But she's beginning to settle down now. You can see all the little bits and pieces floating around. I had just fed them, and I'm trying to entice her to eat, and that means she'll just let the fry out to eat as well. So far they look pretty good, and I'm not too concerned because they're actually very, very good parents. And as you can see, she still has a few in there, probably another 8 or 9. And yeah, like I said, I want to raise a few more of those. And also that big tank, which I think I'm going to show next clip. There's too many males in there, and yeah, sorry for the mess of this tank. I am still currently in the process of stripping it down and getting it all set up as well. And yeah, I want to breed a few more of these, obviously, because they're a lovely fish, and they're also very, very peaceful for an African cichlid. And I want to thin this out, put them out to clients, and then keep probably the 2 best males, and well, probably all the females, and hopefully they'll do a little bit more breeding for me, because I want to raise another generation before I end up messing up and not having enough to continue the breeding process. So this is the underground filter that was in that tank. Now, most of what I do for making things and fabrication, all that sort of stuff, is now shipped over to my other channel. I'll leave a link if you want to stop by and have a look at some of that stuff. But I wanted to show you this because I don't want to make you think that I am just throwing all that acrylic out, because well, first off, it's expensive, and it is actually very eminently recyclable. I can do a lot of things with this. I was going to put a planter in that tank. Actually, I'm going to end up doing that by the end of this video. And the thing is, this is a bit too deep. I don't want to put any soil in this particular one because of what I plan on breeding in there. Raising the guppies. So what I want to do is make this a little bit more shallow. I'm going to put some cryptogreen in there and some valsinaria. Neither of those plants require any soil or anything for growth. I mean, I have great success with them in just plain gravel. So I'm going to set that up so there's a hiding spots for the fry, even though they're all just fry. They still feel more secure that way, and yeah, I wanted to take care of that. This is, like I said, very easy to do, as long as you have a table saw, of course. And even the piece that I'm going to be cutting off, I will probably cut down and end up making more planters out of it. It's, like I said, very easy to do this sort of thing, and like I said, I don't want to waste any acrylic. So this is going to be 2 inches deep, and I'm going to use the media that was in that aquarium for the underground filter. It's just a large river rock kind of thing, semi-polished stones, and they are going to sit in the bottom of this. And of course, the other thing I'm going to do initially is I'm going to leave this up near the front of the aquarium, and that way I can first off do all the planting and show it to you guys, and then I'll move it to the back of the tank. And yeah, again, growing plants is not a problem. It is unfortunately sometimes a little too successful. So the only other thing I need to do here is, because that blade was set so low, normally I set it a lot higher when I cut acrylic, it just needs to be sanded. So this is just a piece of hardwood plywood, and I just have a piece of adhesive 120 grit sandpaper on here, and it's just a matter of just rubbing that down just so there aren't any sharp edges. I cut myself on acrylic way more than I've ever cut myself on glass, because you just don't think of it as being dangerous. Not bad cuts or anything, but enough that I try to avoid it now. So yeah, I'm going to fill this up. I'm going to stick it in that aquarium, and I'm going to get this going in the next few weeks. You'll see plants in there, and those killies will be out of it, and I'll start popping in the guppy fry and keeping that going. So I'm going to leave the peace lily there. Obviously I'm going to leave the sponge / box filter in there, and yeah, this is the way it's going to be. And then of course by then hopefully it'll be clear again, and quite a few more plants. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments, let me know what you think about all this. Definitely pop over to Don's channel, the New York Gold. Like I said, I'll leave links for that. And if you're interested in any of the manufacturing stuff, I'll leave a link to my other channel for that sort of stuff as well. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.